Islam's fucking huge.
Yeah.
He's big, dude.
Yeah.
When I interview him in the cage afterwards, I'm always like, how?
Really?
How are you 155?
Yeah.
How?
I know.
How?
I know.
He's
A 28-second clip just turned into the most talked about piece of footage in the welterweight division. And it didn't even come from Islam Makhachev's own account. It came from his manager. No fight date was even confirmed yet when it dropped. And within hours it had MMA Twitter, Reddit, and half the UFC roster reacting. The footage shows Ian Gary, the man calling himself the future, getting taken down twice and choked out in training. Not by Makhachev, by a featherweight. And once you hear what Joe Rogan's actually been saying about Makhachev for months, the timing of that clip makes a lot more sense. Let's set the table first. UFC 330 lands August 15th in Philadelphia, with Islam Makhachev defending his welterweight title against Ian Machado Gary. Makhachev is 2-8-1, riding a 16-fight win streak that's currently tied with Anderson Silva for the longest active or all-time streak in UFC history. One more win and he owns that record outright. Gary is 1-7-1, rebuilt himself with wins over Carlos Prates and Belal Muhammad after a tough decision loss to Shavkat Rakhmonov, and has spent the last few months loudly insisting he's the one who finally ends the Dagestani run that started with Khabib and never really stopped.
Nice here. High head, high head, high head. You're fine, you're fine. There you go.
Now, here's the footage that started this whole conversation. Other clips of him training have been beastly as well, no caps.
Сильный, мудрый, Махасик, выходи, родной, выходи. Это все про тебя было, Махасик. Благородный. На ноги вставай, Махасик. На колено встань и вставай на ноги. И стряхивай его. Группируйся, Махас.
Makhachev's manager Ali Abdelaziz posted that short training clip on social media showing Gary getting hit with a double leg, standing back up, taken down again with a single leg, and finishing off with a standing head and arm choke. The training partner doing all this wasn't even a wrestler by background. It was Alexei Perganda, an undefeated PFL. Abdelaziz didn't even need a caption beyond a pair of sunglasses emojis.
Nice here. High head, high head, high head. You're fine, you're fine. There you go.
The internet did the rest. Reddit threads lit up arguing about whether this was real mental warfare or just a flex with zero relevance to the actual fight. And that debate is honestly the most fun part of this entire build-up.
I mean, you know, dude, I don't think Islam has a lot of weaknesses. He's never fought someone as long and tall as me. He's not fought someone as fast as me. He's not fought someone who has the distance management, the boxing capabilities, the head movement that I did, but also the takedown defense. He might get me down. I hope he does. Because I want to prove to the world that he can't submit me. I want to prove to the world that I can get back up. I want to prove to the world that I can beat him in his own world. I don't care how long he's trained in that area. I don't care if he's an internationally recognized master of Sambo or not. I'm going to bounce him on his skull. I'm going to take his title. I'm going to take his throne. And I'm going to finish that consecutive win streak. And I'll always be the guy that stopped history from happening.
Gary, to his credit, didn't flinch. He's been on Instagram one too many times, making his case directly to the camera.
Islam said he'd rather fight Morales because he's undefeated.
Of course he'd rather fight Morales, because Morales hasn't beaten anyone in the sport. He said he'd rather fight Kamaru Usman. Kamaru Usman has won 2 fights in the last 10. He said he'd rather fight Pratchett, the man who I beat. He'd rather fight anybody except me.
He's even said he wants Makhachev to take him down, just so he can prove he gets back up. And he's not just talking. Gary's takedown defense numbers are legitimately elite. He stuffed 15 of his last 17 takedown attempts combined against Rakhmonov and Muhammad, 2 of the better grapplers in the division. That's the real tension here. The viral clip says he looks lethal.
Можно ли назвать бой с Гэри такой второй частью ирландско-дагестанского противостояния?
Как говорится, с Алиэкспресса, да?
The actual stat sheet says Gary might be one of the few people on the roster built specifically to survive this exact problem.
Islam said he'd rather fight Morales because he's undefeated.
Of course he would. Of course he'd rather fight Morales, because Morales hasn't beaten anyone in the sport. He said he'd rather fight Kamaru Usman. Kamaru Usman has won 2 fights in the last 10 he's had. He said he'd rather fight Pratchett, the man who I beat. He'd rather fight anybody except me.
Makhachev hasn't exactly been diplomatic about any of it. After Gary flew to Georgia, the country, not the state, a wrestling pipeline that's produced names like Merab Dvalishvili and Arman Tsarukyan, to sharpen his grappling for this fight, Makhachev brushed the whole trip off, saying, in Georgia, he'll probably improve in some areas. But I've been wrestling my whole life, not just for 2 to 3 months. Then, when asked if this fight revives the old Ireland versus Dagestan rivalry that Khabib and Conor McGregor built years ago, Makhachev didn't even take it seriously. He just said, like they say, from AliExpress, and let the nickname do the rest of the talking.
Можно ли назвать бой с Гэри такой второй частью ирландско-дагестанского противостояния?
Как говорится, с Алиэкспресса, да?
It's brutal, it's funny, and it's exactly the kind of thing that turns into a thumbnail. And speaking of nostalgia, Khabib himself is now part of the story. UFC's new docu-series Inside Camp opened its first episode showing Khabib personally joining Makhachev's training camp ahead of this fight. For a sport that still treats Khabib like a returning king every time he steps on a mat, that alone is worth a clip of its own. Now here's where Joe Rogan actually comes in, and it's bigger than just reacting to one viral training clip.
Islam's fucking huge.
Yeah.
He's big, dude.
Yeah.
When I interview him in the cage afterwards, I'm always like, how?
Really?
How are you 155?
Yeah.
How?
I know.
How?
I know.
He's thick as fuck. He's got a giant back.
Yeah.
And when he gets a hold of guys, it's like he's just got this leverage, this grappling squeeze.
Back in January, on his own podcast, Rogan made a case that's been quietly fueling all of this hype ever since. Talking with Gable Steveson, Rogan said flatly, Khabib is, without a doubt, one of the all-time greats. But the difference between Khabib and Islam is elite, stand-up-wise. Khabib had really good stand-up, but Islam knocked out Volkanovski with a head kick. That's not in Khabib's repertoire. Then he went further. Islam is on another level. It's like one more level above. He can knock you out standing. He can knock you out on the ground. He can submit you. He can take you down. He's funking huge for the weight class. That's not a throwaway comment. That's Rogan, on record, ranking Makhachev above the man most fans consider the lightweight GOAT.
There, that's the guy.
I agree.
Yeah, and what a division. I mean, holy shit. And now Charles is saying he wants to fight you, BMF and the lightweight title on the line. That would be crazy. So there's fights available.
Yes, there is.
Big. What are your thoughts? Like when you're thinking about competing, who do you think it will be? You think it'll be Arman?
No.
No?
I can't say that I have a name.
Do you think Ely's going to try for a rematch?
No, he doesn't get a rematch. He can try, but he doesn't get one.
Wow.
He quit on the stool. He quit twice. I stopped him twice. What else do I have to fucking do? Plus, his next challenge can't be me. He needs to fight Patty or someone like that.
Does Patty have a fight scheduled?
I think he's fighting
Saint Denis.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's a tough fight.
It is.
Yeah.
Benoit's a beast.
Tough game.
Yeah.
It's a fucking crazy game.
It's a crazy game.
Crazy
It's the
game.
craziest game. I mean,
by far.
Think about where you were.
So when a clip drops showing Gary getting folded up by a training partner, it lands inside a conversation Rogan had already framed months earlier. The idea that Makhachev simply has more ways to beat you than almost anyone who's ever held a UFC belt. It's not really about one clip. It's about a guy Rogan already thinks might be the most complete fighter the sport has produced, adding one more highlight to a very long pile.
Pound, it was like him and Islam are number 1 and number 2, and some odds had you at 6-1, which I thought was very disrespectful. I thought like this is crazy. Like 6-1's crazy. Like Ilya's really good, but so's Justin. This is kind of nuts. Like to have you win the way you won in front of the fucking White House.
Yeah.
How's it feel?
Oh, you know, it's really not real yet.
But don't let the hype fool you into thinking this is a guaranteed walkover, because recent history says otherwise. This exact year already gave us Justin Gaethje upsetting Ilia Topuria and Sean Strickland upsetting Khamzat Chimaev. 2 fights that looked over before they started, and weren't. And speaking of Justin, you gotta hear what he said about Ali Abdelaziz.
UFC put on a press conference yesterday. Ali Abdelaziz got brought up like 4 or 5 times. I don't know. He's a superstar, you know, because of the person that he is. A lot of times you guys are never gonna hear, you know, who he actually is. As a manager, you know, he's loyal to us and we are loyal to him. You see the stable of guys he has up there. That does not happen by accident. When I fought Cowboy, he knew I wasn't happy with the fight, and so he called me and said, "You're fighting Cowboy, and I'm not going to take $1 from you." And he did not take $1 from me because he's a man of his word. So yeah, I mean, a lot of people are going to talk shit about this man, and you know, if they were to walk in here, he's the safest man in this place right now.
Gary's takedown defense numbers are real. His reach, his timing, his refusal to back down from any of Makhachev's trash talk, all of that is real too. The footage says one thing. The numbers say this could be messier than anyone in Dagestan wants to admit. So who actually wins this one? Does Gary's takedown defense hold up against the most complete grappler-striker hybrid Joe Rogan says he's ever seen? Or does Makhachev just add another body to the pile on his way to breaking the win streak record outright? Drop your prediction below and let us know, is AliExpress McGregor about to become the most expensive nickname in UFC history?